want to say roof, and that's also not true. But yeah, those metal tiles sort of are their own carved something or other, but that would be for an actually old building. I don't know if we're implying that this is actually an old building. But yeah. So, have this. We have here. No longer worried about our camera moving. I'm going to switch back over to cycles just to confirm with the shadows if they are anything like these shadows. Um, that is okay. Although, I think just slightly higher up. Just kind of round out these numbers. So that it's not a very awkward amount of the interior portion that we're seeing. I want to see all of the door frame, I think is most of why I changed this angle. I want to see all of the door frame and I want to see more of the steps. Okay. If I'm not even seeing these indents, why did I put them there? But I'll have this in video format. Don't want to be afraid to show these upper window frames. Just go straight up. 1.4, not 1.14. Okay. All right. Good round numbers. Not really. I don't remember how much of those you can see. Yeah, you can see all of this. No, the angles. No, the scale you can't. The angles you can. Sorry, squinting at the little display version in OBS. Um, yeah, a little bit more coffee. And yes, so that I don't dread it, um, I need to get the building next door and the door, and then maybe like a building cutout for the flag on the other side that's going to be the shadow caster. Can't, will it work? Just a silhouette. Because the light like traveling between the buildings won't make sense quite. But it'll probably do everything I need it to. Um, yeah, basically I just need to block off the appropriate areas so that our lighting is something that would be worth baking, pretty much. Um, yeah, eventually we'll get there. But door first. Wait, I had buffalo. All right. I also selecting down here? Yes, I am. Okay, duplicate and separate selection. This gets to be the store door, or storefront door. Or having everything start with storefront. The birds think I should have filled the dog's water bowl a little bit higher. They probably don't think that I should go out there and pour water on them right now. But yeah. Okay. Little, I don't remember what they are, but they basically look like just normal house sparrows that somebody's dipped in red paint. They're pretty. And it's not red paint. It's not quite that bright, and it's more of an ombre effect as birds. They're much more graceful than house sparrows that have been dipped in red paint, besides being less concerning for their health. But they are pretty. And I don't know of them being invasive species. Unlike like English sparrows, where you know, English sparrows and starlings are things where it's like, I like you, you're a bird, but you are competing with the birds that are only here. And therefore I'm a little bit less friendly toward you. So I have, I don't know, that might be too much of a gap. Right, forgot there are currently unnecessary lines in the middle. I think they're at specific, yeah, they are at lines that I have easy access to by the grid. So let's just go ahead and get rid of those edges. And also dissolve the vertices. Thank you. Did I delete the edges? I probably deleted the edges. Right. And these normals to recalculate the outside. All right. Seem to only have vertices where I would expect to. So. Then there's the question of how do I want to inset stuff? The way I approached basically the entire building, where you're just making cuts and extruding inward, or where you're actually insetting and you end up with the diagonal line for the corner. Doesn't really matter. Because again, I'm not making this a subdivision surface, so I don't have to do the test and remember that whichever thing I do, it's the opposite that's the better option. Because yeah, my brain just doesn't want to accept whichever way it is that best supports all the lines. I think it does need to be the inset corners if I were doing subdivision surface, because then you have the option of supporting that corner. I think, unless it's the opposite. It's always the opposite of whatever I do first. whatever, I'm like, yes, this makes logical sense. And then we're like, but no, actually, it doesn't. You end up having to support the corner, but then separately support this other corner. You have it as there's a square there instead of an angle. Yep. But I think maybe that works better. It's just annoying because it has a lot more edges involved. Anyway, I should not care. Other than if I don't care, then insetting is fewer vertices in general and is the better option. Okay. So it does lead to me having to delete more faces. Right. 0.05 is like the thinnest possibility. 0.05 maybe better for the kind of sturdy metal frame to a glass door I'm going for. However, once again, let's look at my references because I'm not good. Like, I don't have experience making doors. Let's look at these and remember that most of them don't, in fact, have just straight glass for their entire door. Should have kind of a kick plate area at the very least. And yeah, so that's about the normal. So it's like a foot or two, not 2 feet. I'm not good at estimating feet, so it doesn't really matter. Um, at the base. However, have just remembered this is all wrong. It's fine. I'm good. All is well. Let me move this down a set amount because we just need a small window in there to take the space. So -0.3, I guess. So our probably 6 foot tall human still has plenty of headroom, but we don't have a ridiculously tall door. Ideally. Okay, that looks suspiciously like I have some scaling to 0 to do. So that I can actually snap these to where they should be. That they were very close. I don't think that they were going to be perfectly exactly where they should be because there isn't a separate option in order to snap the individual vertices, and very clearly we had some that were above the line. They were, yes, mimicking this change in position. Sorry, just somebody walking by with weird posture. It made it look like he was walking toward us, but he was not. So, like, walking like this. I wished to bark at him like the dog that I sit for. Say, are you threatening me? The answer is no. No, he is not. He's probably just stretching his back. Anyway, good to relate to your dogs. Also, so this is June, and the last 2 years, I think I made a self portrait in June. And I do feel a little bit self conscious about uh, yeah, especially on the sites where I'm, you know, directly using that site for applying to jobs. I feel like I need a better, more accurate painting of my face. Um, or I could do photos, but that would require that I find somebody to take my photo. Um, which, yes, I have family, but I need to be like able to direct people in order for that to work. Anyway, yes, delete that face. Don't need it. The And sorry, I just started down that tangent because I once again said the dog I'm sitting for, and like because reasons. Um, I do kind of want to make the self-portrait a double-purpose thing. Like if you zoom out from the portion that I'll be using for things, um, have a dog painting it. That would be fun. Like, yes, the dog I'm sitting for, like sitting for an artist or a photographer or whatever. It's a phrase from historical things that I enjoy. Um, and so, yes, a few times when I'm just being awkward, my sentence structure, like, yes, clearly the thing that is happening is I am an artist model and I am sitting for a dog. And it amuses me. The inset. I don't recall how much I inset it, but probably 0.025. Might have been more than that. It looks like it ought to be more than that. You just straight up 0.03. Intersection wider, narrower. Maybe it is 0.035. Okay. And you get deleted. So that you can there. Name up here. Okay, so clearly it shouldn't be that tall. Alright, and that doesn't, but I can't tell. But over here, this thing is between here and here, I believe. So it's a little bit less than 4. So 3.5. would be correct for the middle section, if that is what I think it is. Okay. So that seems to match. Cool. Maybe. It optically doesn't match. Does not. Are you what I thought I was selecting? You are. The door is actually a different thickness than windows. It could be. Okay. There's there. Okay. So that is more correct. I was just assuming that it was different lines that are actually just part of the crown molding that were the framing edges, and that's why it looked like the wrong proportions. Okay. All is good. Have this inset as it should. This wasn't intentional. Intentional, unintentional rhyme. One of those. What's the difference? Quite a lot, I assure you. Yeah. And I haven't made the rest of these marked sharp, so I'm going to not make this one. It'll look weird. Have to be okay with that. Eventually, I will probably mark everything sharp. Should probably just mark all of my corners sharp while I'm here. And mostly understanding what the corners look like. One last bottom row one. And then so many up here. There are more windows than there strictly need to be, but correct for reference matching, and also looks like I already got some of the lines, not all of them, because I didn't pick the ones that I did on the others. So okie dokie. Sure, let's go ahead and mark that whole corner. I seem to have its friends. Okay. This spot, though. It's not easy. Have any kind of weird faces there that would explain it being an extra edge selected. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Corners all good there. Just the 3 more. Other than it's not the 3 more because I already got this one. Cool. Okay. All our corners marked sharp. I don't know if I'm actually going to end up using those normals, but if I do, it's much better to have them be correct than not. And it seems like a good place to start. So we have some roundness at some of the places where I would like there to be roundness. Yeah. Yes, we have all that. And coffee. Kind of like having all that and more. Right, we don't. That's selected anymore? Okay. Come on. Let me select you. Alright. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this, separate it, and it's going to be this that I need to combine with that, with I think it just J, Control J, Control J, answer. Okay. And let's just go ahead and recalculate our outside normals. Make sure that this is all shaded flat, because it should be. And yes, I need to move the facade material block. I guess just make sure that everything is actually assigned to the glass block. Alright. Sure. Good. I've installed a window and cleaned up some miters. But now, back to the door. Now that I've remembered what space it actually ought to occupy. Okay, so now, yes, I think that frame gets set with this. We're going to have down here about scale 0 and snap there. Yeah, theoretically encouraging people, if they need to kind of push open the door with their leg. And not break it. ideally. And this inset was an amount. um, yeah, it's visually shifted over. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 the inset. So I can have 0.5 here too. Almost. There we go. Right. And I have told myself I'm going to make the handle separate. Don't need to worry about making this asymmetrical and having a little bump out and all. I don't, but I do. I do. I do want to keep this symmetrical and not worry about it. Kind of. For certain values of want to. Alright, let us bridge those faces and delete those. Right. Technically still fewer vertices this way, even though I now don't like the fact that this is two different ways of insetting here. I could slide, by slide I mean merge these at their center, and then be a fool. And not at center. At last. Last. It does not look better. And it's probably not fewer vertices either. I could, however, looking at it like this, and the fact that it doesn't really matter to me where exactly um, this is, I could just multiply this by 2 on the x-axis and z-axis, sorry, and not think too hard about the fact that that's not actually the center of this that's getting moved, and I don't know why. Because all of these points are evenly distributed on the z-axis. Why? Why does it not even moving the center, like the weighted center? That doesn't make sense. Hmm. Okay, well, doesn't really matter. Let's just. I think it's okay to just move one edge at a time. Making sure that they stay locked on the z-axis. So these display areas might be a little bit too tall. There are definitely a good number of the kickboards, whatever, that look shorter than this and match up with their side walls. Um, if I move this all now, will it be lined up on points? I think the answer is going to be no. No, it's not. Because it doesn't like me. Okay. So it's weird because, like, it's very close to that looking like it's trying to make a square there. It's not. So, yeah, there is no explanation. No, I'm sure there is an explanation. Somebody programmed this. Um, but yeah. Okay, so significantly lower. I don't know if it's that significantly lower, but it's it's definitely not looking like it's trying to line up now. I think. All right, now let's look at this and think about its size. And the fact that it's not going to be perfectly anything, and maybe I do need to move stuff down by increments. Allow it to be square. Okay. Not square, but like equal amounts of wrong. That's silly, but I'm doing it anyway. Okay, so this is down there. So yeah, negative 0.0035. And we do the same with this. And there, it is equally unsquare in all directions. I guess with the fact that this is a face, maybe there was a slight difference in weight between the things. Center of mass of faces versus the center of mass of vertices, even in vertex select mode, which I don't know. Okay. I guess it's better that they be consistent, but I don't agree with that being the thing to have be the consistent agreement. That was a very clear statement. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So apply my mirror so that I can like make this be exactly a third and not just repeatedly have to change the way that the middle is acting. Perhaps. This is not actually. Sorry. Is not a square. This is a square. So this all needs to move up by one. Actually. Oops. I believe that's correct now. Yes. Ay. And it doesn't matter, but I've decided to make it matter, so it matters now. Um, so yes, we have, we would have 9 kind of perfectly centered, or 3 Sudoku squares worth of stuff, 9 across, 3 tall, if we wanted. I might want it, because that'll let me deal with these evenly. Alright, so in the set, and let's snap these. Okay, so we have that, and I'm gonna go ahead and have this also. And the puppy dog is investigating mulch that he dug up that I still haven't gone to see if I can find an outdoor broom in the garage. Nice of him to draw my attention back to it. Make me feel guilty. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and extrude individual faces and scale down those faces. Okay. And I just realized that my brain is entirely wrong about this, and I can't just arbitrarily decide that this is only half of a face. Ay, ay, ay. I said it aloud. I like mentally traced to like halfway there and did not. Do I want the middle to be different? Maybe I ought to. Also, what's the dog up to now? He has vanished from my sight in an area where he sometimes begs to be let in. But maybe he's just investigating stuff still. There's like, there are two windows. One of them is the door window, and so he would be standing where logically it would make sense. Kind of, if he's like addressing me through the wall. But there's a wall, so it doesn't work. But he has definitely used that logic before. He might bark in a moment. He realizes that I'm not paying attention. Anyway. All's well. Let us. Oh no. Right, we didn't specify snapping on anything. Actually, I'm not sure what's going on there. At what point did I fail to make these flat? Sometime, for sure. Definitely happened. So, I keep wanting to move it on the wrong axis. Soloing the x-axis doesn't work very well. Alright. Well, there we go. Back to flats, I think. I think I'm not just imagining that. I have no idea what happened there, other than probably sometime when I didn't think that I needed to solo an axis. I did. Alright. So we have these isolated. At this point, I could choose to change this to be more imbalanced. Well, it won't be unbalanced, it'll be symmetrical either way, but maybe do I want to just have two blocks? I have a door that even has more than one. Not sure that I do. Oh no, there's one. No, I don't want to edit the pin. I just want to look at it and decide if I like it better. Yeah, one of the storefronts that I have to reference is definitely one of the interesting ones, but it also has like a round corner of molded glass and lots of fancy details. We have three there, so like echoing the three makes sense. I don't know if echoing the three with the middle being larger, but not like significantly larger makes sense, or if I would be better off moving this to make it more dramatic. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. Nope. 0.5. Oh, what? Okay. 0.5. That's allowed now. Oh, did I accidentally tap the proportional editing on or something? I guess. Like, I knew it wasn't on, but like up here. But if I just using my stylus instead of mouse, things happen. All right, so far still flat. Good, good. Everything's normals are the correct direction. These I had go there and then because I had go there in multiple steps or I just inset again. Yeah, I just inset again. It's perfectly flat around here. I didn't sharpen that edge to the inside. Sorry, I just punched my mic for sure. All right. Also, hello, Deep Surface. How are you? What lovely coffee emotes you have. Okay. Let me not auto smooth this. Actually, no, auto smooth is fine, but let's just for a moment shade it flat so I can see what's really happening here. Um, However, we'll also want to go local view. And then we'll look at this. Okay, it looks a little too like a car headlights grill setup. So maybe I would have preferred it with the 3 versus 4. Yeah. Yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of these. And have to make some coffee now. Okay. And that is totally fine. Please enjoy your drafting. And thank you for hanging out with me. I will continue monologuing. Not what I do best, but it's something I do occasionally. But good luck making coffee also. Get that caffeine. Alright, so I'm going to change this to like 0.75 or something for the scale. Still get rid of those excess spaces. And grow this outward. Ooh, yeah, 0.025 seems to work well. I just need to actually select both sides. inset 5.05. Drag this over and extrude individual faces by negative 0.01, maybe? That seem reasonable? That seemed to be what I have here. Honestly, unsure. That's what that looks like in profile. This looks different because it's got other crown molding messing with it. Yeah, probably. 2.5 versus 1. Yeah, I think that's right, just scale down. Also, we'll want to get rid of still use excess space on the center portion. Okay. Cool. And those are also adorable emotes. Cute and cozy. So the store doesn't actually have to open. I think. If it does, then we can change parenting into objects and all afterward. But I think I just need to kind of set up my glass frame to be similar to how all the other window frames are. That glass is a little bit too thick for reality, but I'm basically going to just go into the glass object and remove everything but the front face, probably. I guess it could have front and back faces, but doesn't need to. Yes, inset 0.035. And clean this up before I continue. Alright, and extrude face along normals, and that's negative 0.05. That might be too much. Be exactly what I did. Oh, I think that's too much. Again, is my brain. Offset even. Okay, can't be 5. Could be 2.5. And that seems the appropriate amount of deep. This is making me feel like the fact that I didn't have to check offset even on this means that it is incorrect. Yep. Cool. Probably okay on the rest of them because they're fine. Because they didn't have the weirdness of the open edges. individually scale those to 0. No. I mean, yes, but no. Okay. Need to be able to see this grid behind me, and yeah, it's definitely more than I got there. This. Yep. So these are probably about 2.25 below this line. I could say 3. That would be simple. Or I could get rid of it and just kind of restart. Okay. Let's go for that option. We can at least make it equal to the door that's directly below it. Pretty easily. Straight faces along normals. And offset even. And yeah, nowhere near that much. 2.5 is still too much, so it may have been 1.5 or 1.75. 1.75 sounds familiar. I know I used something like that at some point. They definitely were 0.175s. Yeah, that looks right. Okay. We have confirmed that this is correct. And now I need to make sure that both of these are sharp, and otherwise we're all good. So 0.0175 is the correct amount. But also now that means that I need to change the glass that is in our glass collection. Anyway, yes. There's definitely much better workflows, probably, for those people who actually know how to do, well, hard surface modeling in general, but especially architectural, where there are lots of things that are like reliant on each other. Probably they're, I don't know, I guess parametric modeling. Parametric modeling is the actual correct choice. But anyway, go ahead and duplicate this and separate selection. All right. And leave local view. Go in and select this thing and get rid of it. I just did function J instead of control J. There we go. And recalculate those normals, and also, okay, If I could just select things and right click. There we go. Cool. Now in here. We have the wrong size. Faces. And then connect all that. And weird faces along normals. Those negative 0.0175. Offset even. That looks reasonable-ish. Hello, Mark. Good morning. How are you today? I also want to ask how are the ducks, but I could just check. They were okay yesterday. They were like twice as large as the last time I had seen them, which is yes. Oh, I talked about it in Discord already, but I saw a kitten yesterday and he was the cutest and reminded me that I love cats. And I'm not a dog person. But I like other people's dogs. I am okay taking care of them, especially for money. Um, my, the dog here, he's been good. But yes, the fact that my like heart lit up upon seeing a kitty cat outside. But yes, the ducks are huge. They're they're still babies, but they are not babies. Looking more and more duck-like, much less duckling. Yep, yep. At first, I thought he was a long hair because he was understandably spooked about the dog that was stalking him. Um, but just like the poofiest tail. So I guess he might be like medium hair instead of short. Yes, he had a lot to poop. But yeah, he's super cute, super soft, very friendly. But you're very sleepy for some reason. Oh, I mean, I guess the lows at night might have been close to that here, but it's still been fairly warm. Ah, speak of the devil, the dog wants in. Just a moment. Hey, buddy. Get those paws. Yeah. And he hasn't actually had all of his breakfast, so I need to. Like, he had a little bit. But he was hurried to get that bit and then get out, so I didn't get the, like, second half onto the bowl. So this might be loud. Probably should have paused. Or not paused, but muted my mic. Sorry about this. Hey, buddy. Alright. There you go. Let me get that water cleaned for you. So, the food, like, swapped out this weekend for the dog, and evidently he likes the second food much better because he does not wait for me to add extra flavoring on top of it, which might be part of his nutrients and therefore I have to, but he is happy with the flavor without extra, which is kind of fun. Alright. And oh wow. Yeah, no, it's even on the cool days. I've appreciated the cooler weekend in that we haven't been under a heat advisory. It's already 75 here, and it'll be 80s or higher actually, because I think it was only supposed to be really cool cool, as in low 80s at the highest, the last 2 days. So, like, I don't want to complain when I know that, like, Britain and or Europe in general was having a worse heat wave, but yeah, it was kind of miserable this last week. So I appreciated the fact that the weekend was decent, especially while I'm here and in a yard that doesn't have just thousands of mosquitoes. So I can actually go out into it for the enjoyment of it. But yeah, sorry, the ducks' voices are starting to drop to a mix of peeps and a sort of proto-quack. That does sound adorable. Yes. I'm glad you're mostly enjoying having it. I'm sorry that it's rough on the joints, but yeah. Hooray for there still being places in the world that have cool weather. But yeah, I've been enjoying the sunshine, even if it has been baking many days. Okay. Let me see. Have all of that. Because I've made these edges even, I could also make them decorative. Maybe possibly. Unless it just refuses. There we go. Right, there are lots of little sparrows hopping around outside. Enjoying their unrestricted access to the dog's water dish out there. He is more of a threat to, I guess, fuzzy things than he is to birds, because he points at the birds. But yeah, the cat he was advancing on very quickly even while pointing, and obviously he was bothering a squirrel a couple of the last few times that I've dog sat here by just not leaving it alone once it had entered a tree, continuing sitting at its base, staring, ready to get it if it came back down. So, the bunny, though, I also saw this weekend, and it's gone from whatever, this long to this long. Still relatively small, but not itty bitty. So, anyway, wildlife. I like them. I think that is too narrow. That is literally all of the inset that is available. No, not extrude. Just skip. There goes my coffee. All gone. Much tragedy. I think those have both gone the correct direction. Occasionally, my eyes get confused. Seeing both sides at once. Betty, you've had your breakfast now. Do you want out again? Do you want to be petted a little bit? Still relatively cool, but I think it's a temperature that you find comfortable. Only 75. But when you're comfy in 60-degree weather for extended times, I'm pretty sure you're happy out there. It's in your range. You need me to stand up so that you know you can go ask? Or just stop petting you? Probably if I stopped petting you, you would realize outside is better. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Good boy. Okay. Good, good. And I just have to remember what all I hardened over here. Okay. Just those portions. Actually, like the equivalent of these edges were hardened, but I don't think I want to for here where we don't have further carving. Just having them be round is good. On both sides even. All right. Let's just go ahead and select these inner boxes there, and now we can set it back to smooth. No problem. All good. All right. I already knew. I said it aloud, so I should be aware I have no coffee. I have another hour to stream, so hooray, we're actually making progress for once. Probably mostly. Right, I forgot to set this back to not having facade. Sign all to glass. Um, so yeah, adding glass to the front door will be a quick thing to get me back in before I make the kind of handle and plate that it's on. Yeah. I am liking this so far. I should local view this. Make sure that I still like it when I can see the middle of the door. And yeah, I do. It is somewhat reminding me of like a, yeah, Art Deco, other than Art Nouveau. An Art Deco take on the Bumblebee hive cups things I'm going to be making. So unintentional thematic. We have things that stick together and have openings. Just just like the sides of this building. Um yeah. And the overall impression of the building is probably going to be, well, both more green because I think it needs to be higher saturation for the parts that actually are green paint, and less green because it's going to have a lot of brown wood showing through because this is 7 years into the apocalypse. Um, and lots of torn up finish. Um, but yeah, overall, pretty happy with this so far. Confirm in cycles. Yep, hardly see any of that work, but you do see it. I do have, with just these things visible, so the foundation already is pretty much finalized. So there's more. But yeah, we have at least 3,500 triangles, which is many, but not that many. I don't know. I should see if I can find some like official games geometry budget. Yes, success. Yes, it is a storefront of boutique something or other. It does have steps up, so it's not accessible, unfortunately. Um, but yes, that is the goal. It is meant to be formerly like an old storefront that had been repurposed to be boutique-ish. Um, like I'm going to actually I don't know about sorry, I don't actually know the definition of boutique technically, so probably I'm actually going to change it to have become a cafe or something. There are things that I could imagine that would up the symbolism, whatever, have it be related somehow. Because this is going to actually be the site for a bee monster's nest, pretty much. Um, it makes sense, I swear. It doesn't really. It's largely for things that don't make sense, but mostly it's going to be a monster's nest. But the monster is going to be based on bees and fish that nest in anemones. So we're going to have a combination of bumblebee nest and sea anemone and fish eggs kind of sprawled in here. The sides glass will be broken and all of that. But yeah, I was thinking maybe I would have a like overturned table and chairs or something in here showing that I don't know, or maybe not even overturned. I'm not sure. Depends how much we think that the monsters have gotten in here and messed with things here, but not broken the plate with glass. Anyway, um, yes, yeah. So I was largely picturing storefronts that I have seen. Well, I've seen on social media in New York, Brooklyn. Sorry, that is New York. Sorry, Brooklyn-ish places, or Boston, or yeah, various cities that I haven't actually been, and in just middle America, nice small town areas that were like bustling shopping areas and now are more prone to being nice coffee houses, and a little bit like lower key. Um, but yeah, I haven't gone out and taken photos of the places that I'm actually thinking of, largely because I think a lot of them maybe were less middle America and more like just a middle portion of upstate New York traveling through. I feel like Utica and like the path to Albany, maybe Syracuse, um, had stores that are more what my brain is remembering. Um, yes, breakfast and brunch places, definitely. I had a zoo in Utica. I think that we went a couple times, but mostly it was a fun name to say, a sign on the road. But yeah, we definitely went to the zoo at least once. Um, I grew up near Watertown, way way northish, and you spent a few days a week on the road in Brooklyn. Oh, cool. Construction inspections. Well, you would be very aware of how these places go together, so hype up if you see something that is bad enough that it would bother you if you saw it in a video game. I'm not really doing anything to the inside of this. It's just going to be a view from the front. But yeah. Okay, I need to grab coffee. Let me scribble a BRB, which is best done not in Cycles view. But yeah, I made a whole fresh pot this morning, which by a whole fresh pot, I mean like a quarter of a pot. So I have at least one more easy cup. So let us. Oh, no, somewhere in here. Well, for me, with my fully functional color vision, that's easy to read. Um, yes, I will be right back. It's just right over there, but I'm gonna take the opportunity to check on the dog and all first. Unless, of course, something has happened where I can't interact with the taskbar, which happens sometimes. Let me just real quick lock my computer and unlock it, because that usually fixes it. So, there we go. Working again. Uh, I shouldn't blame Windows, but it is. That seems like it's specifically a Windows issue. But I know everybody who has a problem with a computer will blame the operating system. And I don't know how often it's actually their fault. Panels are authentic, not true panel. Okay. Good to know. Yeah, I have no idea. Evidently, I haven't seen enough of them in enough disrepair to have an idea how many of the stores that I'm remembering were just straight up built this way or a facade. Where are my visuals to hide? Okay, be right back. All right, I am back. That did not take too long. I'm betting I'm out of focus though. Only I can see clearly now. Made it a slightly larger window so we don't have to flash to my entire face filling the screen. Okay, yes, I don't have fuzz here. I just keep seeing portions of the wood thing. Anyway, all's good. Um, okay. Okay, so I just realized, like, what you're talking about is probably they're just, like, doing lots of miter cuts to have, like, several lines of thin molding. That would make sense. Um, it would be a lot more geometry, though, so even if I decided to go for that idea, I would probably just do those, like, changes in normals between different levels of or different pieces of molding to be um, just a normal map rather than, yeah. Probably wouldn't uh, model that directly. But good, if I wanted to have more places where it could like be chipped or damaged, I will try to think about that. The fact that I could have more edges if I made the panels in that way on the facade, especially. The door, I feel like, yeah, the way that I've made it, it would be less believable to be actually just lots of crown molding. But yes, perhaps it looks better. I don't know. Yes, it looks simpler, which maybe is something that I need to keep in mind because the nest itself will be so busy that I don't want everything but the nest to look like shockingly too clean and simple as far as actual shapes, but I do need to make sure that it doesn't get too noisy. Point where it could just be scribbles and who would care. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you for your professional opinion and feedback from experience. Okay, right. I was starting off with sealing the insides of the store to make it glass. Two. And yes, I do have an unnecessary edge there. Solve it. And shade it flat. And once again, get rid of the facade option. Is glass. Hooray. Hooray. All right, and so that I have flexibility with where exactly I end up placing it, I'm going to do the panel and handle separately, besides the fact it will also let me have it be mirrored, though the door, I probably should have had the door mirrored um, back and forth. I'm trying to say on the mirrored on the x-axis along the y-axis. I never actually remember which way it's talking. I guess, yeah, it's along the y-axis, how the mirror modifier would be phrased. Um, because it is mirrored on X, I believe. Side to side. Yeah. But I could have had it mirrored along the Y and that would have been half the work, but I wasn't thinking of it, so whatever. So I would have had to center up its origin. And you have a cute reference, not the same type, but really cool. Search Bedford Cheese Shop Brooklyn. I wonder. I actually have a whole thing of Pinterest reference that's not, none of it is exactly what I'm doing, but I can definitely perhaps look it up and add it. Let's see. Actually, there's a chance that it's already in my collection. It is very cute. Yeah, it's a corner thing. So I may have like seen. Okay, no, maybe the one in Brooklyn isn't. No, the one in Manhattan isn't the one in Brooklyn. Maybe. Or no, there are just a ton of them. I'm using DuckDuckGo. This is a bad choice. Let's go to Google. Actually, do perhaps get the right one. Specifically Brooklyn. Yes, that is a flat front. There was one that was very cute, but yes, definitely in a different area. That was probably one that I had seen, but it's a corner piece. Or maybe that is Brooklyn. Wow. Okay, I have no idea. It's cute. It's very cute. I like it. Yes, it is not what I'm doing, but it is very cute. But yeah, since I am intentionally so that I don't have to make as much of a line of buildings, um, I like initially was thinking, oh, I could do like a little corner because like that feels right, but I actually would want it to be the opposite of a corner as far as a street corner because I need it to be enclosed so that I don't have to do an entire block of buildings as a person who basically has not modeled architecture. Um, but yes, that is super cute. So pretty. Okay. Yes. Well, I duck went and I found, yes, I guess I found a wider variety or probably just fewer images in general, versus the fact that Google is very convinced that this corner storefront is the one that I'm talking about. I believe them. Um, yes. Flip has good ones. No, I will make a note. All right. And yes. Usually you're just drafting flat 2D. That is probably the better way to draft because you have the math. Like, yeah, I assume that it's easier for people who are making things like this is better for kind of getting the aesthetic, but then I'd have to transfer this to 2D and maybe it would end up being an entire mess that is impossible for contractors to read because we have so many things that are like overlapping and yeah. But yes, 3D is a fun way to make things often. I know about this actually. Maybe I do need to have things different, but no, probably we're barely going to see that area, if at all. There. And I should maybe actually get my handrails in first. At least an attempt at them. Oh, Bezier. No. Or neither. Let's, I guess, start with neither. Just gonna straight up delete those vertices and move this here. We actually have to take this down a little bit from flush with the center. Here. Yeah, that is what I'm saying. Because currently the world of origin is at the floor um, of the store for no particular reason, other than I guess the fact that I knew I was planning for the street to not be level. So yeah. I think the talk is fine. Um, Go ahead. And ignore the coffee beeping about how it's no longer going to try to heat the last like half cup or whatever I have in there. Alright, let's go ahead and add a mirror modifier. No clipping necessary. Great. You're scaling our at of 2 to 3 would be fine if I didn't have merge vertices on. Here we go. And so we raise this to where I think the top should be, I guess, and then lower the other end. And yeah, we'll see. Actually, 1 meter. I do feel like that's probably about where it ought to be, but it's interfering with the molding sound. If I knew what the health and safety things were, I would sound like an evil architect. Like, no, it's interfering with the molding. We can't have that safety railing there. That's, yeah, to pretend that I know nothing. And there it's fine. Therefore, it's fine. And you got one more? Feel free to share. Um, we with those Pharisees. Yes. No. I mean, yes, but no. And Leighton Duyvil Bar is fun to try to say, but also let me look up that actual address. If I could. We. Why will it not let me? There we go. Wouldn't let me with my mouse, and then when I'm there with my stylus, and then when I um, moused over, it was giving me pop-ups stopping me from selecting your text for some reason. But we're all good. All good now. Okay. Let's see. A street view. Perhaps. Nope, 5. I dropped the street view too early. I'm lost in an alley somewhere in New York. Oh, come on. Let me do this with my stylus. It really doesn't work. Okay. I'm going to share this and hope that Google doesn't get me for copyright infringement somehow. And actually named after a beautiful section of the Bronx on the Hudson. I did it red recently. Interesting. Right, it really doesn't want me to do anything. Am I lost? I might be lost. I have. Could be anything. I'm on top of somebody's head. Okay, I need to like actually look at landmarks. I guess our street view is actually somebody carrying us around. Okay, so we are on a corner. I don't know if that's good. Here, this. This is what we're going for. Okay, yeah, I saw it. Come on, come on. Click, drag. Okay, so we are like that one that's exactly on in the middle of the intersection, like where they're facing. So it is therefore this. And that is adorable, yes. Oh come on. Let me see you up close. But anyway, yes, that is adorable. Look at photos. Do we have photos of the outside? No. Understandable. The inside though, yes, that is exactly the idea that I'm going for. So I'm probably not going to do the bars and such because way too much geometry to think about and or actually work with. Because yeah, bars like that would definitely be best done as just probably a plane with a normal map. They're so fine. But yes, yeah. Sorry, I figured it being the red one makes sense, but since you said recently, I was like, what if it's a different? And yeah, is very cute. Definitely, it's one of those where actually I'm not sure. No, it is. It is one where their door is actually inset, right? Not just it looks like it once it's opened. Yes, actually inset, though they have like a place for the kind of cage door to protect their glass door. Nice. Yes, tons of character, and I love them for that. But yeah, good reinforcement for my feeling that probably the floor on the inside should be hardwood. Like, it would be okay to make it that. It's not just self indulgence, even though I feel like all of the places that I've actually been, it's been like carpet over cement pretty much. Because it's just cheaper to maintain, I guess. Um, because they can just rip up the carpet every few, however many years. Anyway, this is adorable. I love it. Um, yes, right. I should actually bothered copying that. I should save it and I'll figure out what photos to add to my reference page other than probably this one if I can. I can steal this from Evan Grauer. That would be useful for my Pinterest board. Anyway, yes, many thanks. Back to Blender. And oh, the door was applied panel molding. Okay. Oh yeah, this is true. Just plain and with framing around the window and in a shape under there around the litter box. Right, litter boxes are a thing to think about, or whatever they should actually be called. Probably litter box is incorrect. Okay. Very good, very nice. Um, I never remember if my like intentions and feelings of things that are available. Just getting back into these. Like I want to not bevel these corners because Illustrator and probably Photoshop would make the changing the roundness of the corners so much easier if I just kind of had it as settings in the strokes. Make them round. But yeah, that's not really a thing. Definitely not a thing where I leaving it as mesh to skin. Mm, excuse me, and my weird hiccups. But no, not scale. I don't remember if it's Control T. No, T. Shift T. No. R. R. No. None of these. There's something that allows you to change the scale, but I never remember what it is. All right. Also, what is the circle? Yes, it's just saying that's the root currently. Um, okay, it's Control A for unknown reasons. That changes the scale on the vertices. If I were segments. That is indeed segments that it's counting, not vertices. How do I mark? There we go. Better. Branch smoothing. I want everything to have an equal radius. And I also want this to be round, not square, which for whatever reason this is always square. If I subdivision surface, of course it wouldn't be. Need to drag it down further. Which is very possible. Okay, so if we apply everything like this, it would be pretty easy to work with. Yeah. It is stuff and things. Not the worst. Let's look at this. Maybe change it to have some kind of dark metal. Somewhere in there. So yeah, I'd be able to, if I applied it, like extrude the base just for simplicity. I need them to be a little bit further in for them to actually be grabbable, which might mean that I need to change the foundation thickness much it's out. And it might be like too smooth currently. That needs to be a little bit of a tighter bevel. Maybe I should have beveled them separately. No, that's impossible. I would never make the wrong choice. Okay. Okay. Let me snap my cursor here so that I can. I don't know why I did that because it doesn't matter. I think it does a little bit, but well, let me just accidentally 3-finger swipe down. But yeah, other than just getting it as close as I can eyeball. Okay. Now I guess we can scale to 0 on the y-axis based on that 3D cursor. So it's definitely straight above here. It's close enough to a continuation of this line as it was beveled initially. Um, did I actually get rid of the other vertex and I wasn't paying attention? Probably did. Okay, anyway, let us bevel this vertex. At 0.1 instead of whatever the heck I beveled that one to. A little less round, it's definitely there, but it has a vertical portion. I think it looks a little bit more grabbable. It's more human and shaped. Do I need it to be 6 segments at this scale though? Or similar amount of detail? I think it can. Okay. Cool. Yep, that's sure something. Let's move these in a little bit. I think, yes, the door swings in, and so it doesn't really matter